By Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it.
Tonight, from the Forum in Inglewood, California, the Detroit Red Wing Hockey Club brings you the game between the Los Angeles Kings and the Detroit Red Wings. Hi, everybody. Bruce Martyn along with Sid Abel, and we deem it quite a privilege, and we're happy to be both radio and television on this first game of the 1979-80 National Hockey League season. And Sid Abel, what a rivalry has built up between these two teams, Los Angeles and Detroit. It is perhaps fitting that this is indeed the opening game for both teams.
Bruce, there's no doubt about that. The fact that Dale McCourt said he didn't want to play here in L.A. and Rogie Vachon is in Detroit. Now that that's all straightened around, let's just hope that we have a real fine hockey season. I'm sure we will. But it's brought out, I think, the best of both these clubs because the tension here in this building is just terrific.
And you must mention another name, too, because Andre Saint Laurent, who performed quite well for the Red Wings the past couple of seasons, now moves into a Los Angeles uniform, and he'll be centering a regular line here tonight. He, of course, compensation for the McCourt and Vachon situation. So it's going to be a fun night, I think.
Bruce, I think the big key in this whole thing is going to be how well will the wing defense play, and can they stop Marcel Dion? Marcel Dion last year scored 12 goals against this club in the 8-game series. You've got to stop him if you're going to win hockey games, and he's one of the best in the league, so the Wings have a job to do.
Well, you mentioned Rogie Vachon, and some of this crowd here at the Forum in Los Angeles is going to be a little unhappy over the fact that he is not scheduled to play the hockey game. Jimmy Rutherford, on his performance during the exhibition season, will be the starting goaltender for Detroit tonight. And we'll be facing Mario Lassard, who will be in the Los Angeles goal. The Red Wings didn't have much of a season against the Los Angeles Kings last year. Last year, in the 8 games played, Detroit managed 1 victory. That was at home. They lost 5. The other 2 ended in tie hockey games. But that was last year. This is a brand new season, and we're going to be looking at some new faces. One of them is the #1 draft choice of the Red Wings, Mike Foligno.
And he appears to be a good one, Bruce. We caught his action up at Sault Ste. Marie against Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. I thought he was the best hockey player on the ice that night for the Wings. One thing about it, though, this first game, and the first game that he'll be playing in the National League, he's going to have the real jitters this first game, as will all the players. But usually a veteran, the minute they drop the puck, they will forget all about the fact that it's the opening game of the season. It may take Foligno a game or two to get just used to what goes on in the National League.
Well, Mike Foligno will be playing on a line with another newcomer to the Red Wings, the former Red Wing, and Peter Mahovlich along with Errol Thompson. Well, we shall be back with the opening face-off and some pregame ceremonies right after we pause for this. By Magnavox and Fredder Appliance Stores. A power play goal with Reed Larson in the penalty box at 12:23 by Charlie Simmer, assisted by Doug Howard, gave Los Angeles a 1-0 lead. The game tied by Danny LeBreton. At 18:35, a pass from Miller, and Nedomansky also drawing an assist on the goal. And so that's it. The end of the first period of play with the score. Detroit Red Wings 1, the Los Angeles Kings 1.
Hi, and this is RCA's 19-inch color track remote control, the finest that money can buy at a price you won't believe. If you've ever wanted remote control and felt that you couldn't afford it, believe me, I'll change your mind. Come in and see me soon. Supplies are very limited, and I'll prove to you that when you deal with the boss, you don't pay a salesman's commission. Be sure to get your boss T-shirt.
In the first period of play, the Red Wings 6 shots and the Los Angeles Kings 5. Evenly played period, and that's what the score indicates, with Los Angeles 1 and the Detroit Red Wings 1 period of hockey by the boards in the brand new National Hockey League season. Well, a brand new owner of a team that's been around the league for a while now, Dr. Jerry Buss, who has purchased the Los Angeles Kings and also the Lakers in the offseason, and he is now joining our cohort, Sid Abel.
Is that right? Is that what they tell us?
Thank you, Bruce. My guest is Jerry Buss, the new owner of this fabulous forum, and the two tenants that belong here, the Lakers of the NBA and the Kings of the National Hockey League. Jerry, I was going to ask first, you're a rookie now. There's been one period of hockey played. How'd you see it?
Well, it was really very exciting, especially when we scored the first goal. That was, of course, the first goal that's ever been scored while I've been the owner. It's exciting. What can I tell you? It's everything, every dream come true.
Jerry, I know that you've been involved with sports here in Los Angeles, but this is a new venture. Was it something that you had aimed for, or is it something, did you expect to be here as an owner of the Kings to start the 1979-80 season?
Well, I can't say exactly that I expected to, Sid. Certainly, I've dreamed about it for 3 or 4 years. And over the last year, of course, that dream became a reality.
Right. Now, the biggest controversy we've had in hockey, and I think it's fitting that the Wings and the Kings should meet here on this opening game of the National Hockey League season. The controversy was the compensation for Rogie Vachon, and I know this was back in the Jack Kent Cook days, but I understand that you met with Dale McCourt and talked to him this past summer about possibly his coming out here and play. Would you mind telling us about your meeting with him?
Well, I did. I flew to Toronto. I met with Dale. I found him to be every inch the gentleman that everyone had said he was. I was very, very impressed with him. In fact, the more I talked to him, the more convinced I was that I would like him to be with the Kings. But he told me he simply did not want to skate in Los Angeles. He preferred Detroit. I respected his wishes. We decided to end it right then and there. He lived up to his word, I lived up to mine, and it was a very congenial meeting. I have nothing to say except the highest for Dale McCourt.
Well, that's very nice of you, Jerry. Conversation with players like that, and you have some fine ones out here, really stars in your hockey club. Will you become active as an owner, or will you leave that pretty well up to your general manager, George McGuire? I mean, I'm just trying to feel you out as a new owner if you're going to be really an active owner in hockey.
Well, I think there's a place for both an owner and a general manager. A general manager has to make certain kinds of decisions, but I think the owner is required to give an overall view, a continuity to the program, if you will. As a result, I think that I will have to play an active role. I intend to do so. I treat it as a personal challenge, and my desires are to win, and I hope to translate that desire onto the ice.
Jerry, this club has not used a first-round draft pick, I believe, in their 12 or 13 years of existence. And it seems that other clubs have been successful. I'm thinking of the New York Islanders and clubs like that that have built their hockey teams on draft picks. As a new owner in the league, will you possibly feel that draft picks are going to be one way of bringing a Stanley Cup here to L.A.? And I imagine that's in your view, in your thoughts, too.
Well, I think so. From what I can gather in talking to the various general managers, the hockey observers, the experts around the league, everyone says these days you have to build through the draft. So our position is to do that. And of course, this year, for the very first time in our existence, we did have a first-round draft choice, which we signed in Jay Wells. We're very proud of him. We think he is National Hockey League caliber. We have some more draft choices coming up in future years. It will be a slow building process, but we think we'll get there through the draft choices.
Jerry, and while we're talking hockey, let's just switch to basketball. You drafted a boy that back in Michigan, they're very, very fond of, Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson's with your Lakers. Do you want to give us a little report on him?
Magic is truly magic. He's going to pack them in wherever he goes. He's one of the most phenomenal ball handlers I've ever seen. He does the surprise, the unusual, brings the crowd to their feet. But perhaps the best part about him is every time he's in arena, everyone has a smile on their face. It's contagious. He sets it off and it spreads around the crowd. So Magic is going to be a very, very exciting player for us here in Los Angeles.
And you're going to be a very, very busy man because I believe the Lakers open in a couple of days.
That's right. We have our opener not at home but away in San Diego, which is close enough for me to go. So I'll take a busload of friends down there, and we're going to cheer the Lakers on to victory.
Good. Jerry Buss, thank you ever so much for taking time to stop by and chat with us. Very best of luck to the Kings and to the Lakers. Thank you. Now let's go back to the station for this message.
being our guest on Red Wing Hockey, Puritan Sportswear would like to present you with a handsome sweater and sports shirt ensemble. Puritan, America's standard of quality in men's sportswear. Puritan is available at fine stores everywhere. And so from the Los Angeles Kings to the front office of the Detroit Red Wings, and Ted Lindsay joins Sid.
From the new owner, Jerry Buss, Ted, to the general manager, Ted Lindsay. Let's just talk now about the Wings. We let him talk about L.A. I thought it was an excellent first period.
Well, I think everybody was quite keyed up today, very nervous, and I don't think that I've ever been more nervous myself since we played together. And I don't know whether it's just getting older, but I think we have a pretty good hockey club, and I just want us to get off on the right foot.
Ted, I think it's a good sign when you have butterflies before a game. Here, I haven't been in hockey now for years, and I had butterflies today just thinking that, boy, there's something about this opening game. There's something about coming into a building an opening game.
Well, I think there's a lot of unknowns right now, and we've made some changes this summer, and hopefully these changes will benefit us an awful lot. I've always said I wasn't completely disappointed with our last year's team. I was disappointed with our finish, but not with the overall effort.
Let's just talk about some of your kids, Ted. You've made many changes, but let's talk about the #1 draft pick. He's a good-looking boy.
Thankfully, no, there were a lot of good drafts this year, Sid. Since the exhibition season is over now, we did not make any mistake, and he's got a great anticipation for the puck. He's a goal scorer also.
Now, switching from him, I don't know how you acquired Barry Long. Barry Long played for this Los Angeles club 6 or 7 years ago and then went to World Hockey. How did Detroit get the rights to him?
We traded the rights to Danny Grant a couple of years ago for the rights to Barry Long, and it's turned out it was something that Los Angeles got something that helped them right away. We've had to wait a few years, but Barry Long was the best defenseman in my estimation in the World Hockey, and he should help us considerably.
Well, Teddy, you know, they always say that to win hockey games, you have to have defensemen, and I am very high on a youngster that's coming back after missing most of last year, Greg Jolly. What kind of a camp has he had?
Well, we've had two fellas in that condition. You know, Greg missed the whole season. He played the last few games of the year, Sid, and that takes a little bit of a while to get the condition, get the timing, get strength back, and Greg has had what you would call just a fair training camp, and but I don't write that off completely either, because he did miss the whole season. And the other fellow that I was talking about that missed the whole year was Brent Peterson. Brent is a notorious slow starter, even when he played junior. This has set him back a little bit, missing the whole season.
Now, you're carrying 23 players on this trip, dressing 19, so you're sitting 4 in the stands. Will you do this for some time, or will you get down to pretty well what the number that you have to play?
Well, not too long. We want to be fair to everybody, but you can only take so long to be fair, and it'll be done by the elimination of themselves with effort, with mistakes, and we will get the other 4 players. We might keep one extra one around a little longer, Sid, but we'll get rid of the other 3 as quickly as we can, because it makes it easier for them to be playing and makes it easier for the coach to be able to run it.
Ted, before the players come on the ice, I've got to ask about your feelings with Big Peter Mahovlich. It's nice seeing him back in the Detroit uniform.
Well, you know, he should never have left, as you know, Sid, and
I traded him.
But he's back. His attitude is just tremendous. If Pete plays to 70% of his potential, he'll be just such a value to us. Also very valuable in the fact in the dressing room. He's a great team player, and he contributes an awful lot.
Ted, thanks ever so much for stopping by. Very, very best of luck tonight and the rest of the season.
Thanks,
we want to get back in the playoffs. Thanks a lot. Now let's go back to the station for this message.
What's new in the business world? Get the facts. It's Your Business. Premieres Sunday, October 14th at midnight, right here on TV 50.
Bruce Martyn along with Sid Abel with you from here in our broadcast, telecast location at the Forum. They have called it Jack Kent's Fabulous Forum, but no longer. It is now, as you heard, between periods with Sid, Jerry Buss's Fabulous Forum here in Inglewood, California, the home of the Los Angeles Kings. Very quickly, we can talk a little bit about some of the other games that took place tonight. The New York Rangers defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs at Toronto 6-3. Vickers, Hedberg, Esposito, Dave Maloney, Johnston, and Nilsson all scoring for the Rangers. Ellis, Curtin, and Williams for Toronto. The Atlanta Flames got out in front of Quebec by a score of 4-0 going into the third period in the game at Quebec. And then Cloutier scored 3 goals for Atlanta to bring them back into the game, but Vail had scored 1 for Atlanta, and it ended up Atlanta 5, Quebec 3. At Pittsburgh, the Penguins got off, defeating the Winnipeg Jets by a score of 4-2. Malone, 2 goals by Ferguson and 1 by Sullivan for Pittsburgh. Lukowicz and Sullivan scored for Winnipeg. And Chicago Blackhawks, 2 goals by John Marks, another by Preston, another by Murray, beat Edmonton 4-2. Lowe and Hunter, the goal scorers for Edmonton in that one. So that gives you an idea of the other games around the National Hockey League tonight. In the shots and goal in the first period of this hockey game, the Red Wings had 6. Los Angeles Kings 5. Well, before this second period gets underway, let's pause right now. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the
WKBD TV 50 Detroit.